In the NBA, Shams Charania is reporting that the Bucks want to shut down Giannis Antetokounmpo for the remainder of the season after he suffered a knee injury that will keep him out at least a week. But Giannis is refusing and wants to return when healthy. The man who broke the story, Shams Charania, joining us alongside NBA champ Kendrick Perkins. Shams, what more can you tell us about this disagreement here between Giannis and the Bucks organization?
Kev, over the last 24 hours, Bucks management has requested Giannis to sit for the remainder of the season after his fifth injury of the season the other day. On Sunday, he suffered a hyperextended knee. He's had calf injuries, groin, and ankle. And the team's playoff chances are almost all over. But Giannis, my understanding, is upset with the Bucks over this. He's refusing the request to have him shut down for the season. He is planning to be back this year. He wants to play. But this is just another moment of dissension for Giannis and the Bucks. Giannis believed that the sides needed to part ways for the last several months. The Bucks didn't. And now the Bucks believe Giannis needs to shut down for the rest of the season. Giannis does not in this instance. So this is something to obviously monitor, but Giannis wants to play. The Bucks don't want him to.
Perk, how do you think this should be handled right now, publicly and in-house?
Well, I mean, it's public information now, and here's the thing, right? While Giannis was trying to do every single thing right by the Bucks and trying not to ask for a trade publicly, all of a sudden he's now realizing that the Bucks are looking out for the best interests of the organization and not Giannis. Because asking him to sit out is basically saying, hey, we want to lose games. We're not trying to win any games. We want to put ourselves in the best position in this upcoming draft. And Giannis has no understanding because he's a true competitor. He's loyal to the game. If he's available, he's going to play. It reminds me of the situation of what happened when KG was in Minnesota. That was the breaking moment for the KG and the Minnesota Timberwolves when they asked him to do the very same thing that the Milwaukee Bucks are asking Giannis Antetokounmpo to do right now.
And then what happened? We saw Kevin Garnett trade to Boston, and the Celtics went on to win a title. Yeah, he teamed up with you. Okay, keep in mind, Milwaukee's currently in 11th place in the East, trailing the Hornets by 6.5 games for that 10th spot. That is the final spot in the play-in tournament, and there's 14 games left on the schedule. Perk, stick around. Shams, thank you so much. The magic number, our weekly three-point play featuring Kendrick Perkins and Brian Windhorst giving us their points about NBA games on ESPN tonight, and it's great to have sports betting analyst Tyler Fulgham off the bench offering us a play now. Warriors Celtics, first game of our double dip here, Perk. What point do you want to make about Jason Tatum?
Oh, that he's all the way in, that he's ready to go play championship level basketball, agenda-free basketball. Because look, I understand right now he's struggling when you look at his field goal percentage, but it's the other things that he's doing right now, rebounding at a high level, being a facilitator, being a guy that's doing the little things that doesn't show up in the stat sheet, and he's fitting in. The best thing about it was he was able to sit down on the sideline and be able to watch his team all season long to see how he fits in, and he's doing that at the highest level.
Wendy, what point do you want to make about the Warriors?
Hey, how about Kristaps Porzingis? He had 30-point game on Monday night. Now, it was against the Wizards, but still, it's the best he's looked in a while. He said today that he's feeling like himself again. He had 20 points in a game last week. Look, he has said before, as he's fought this illness over the last 2 years, he's felt like himself, and it hasn't always stayed. Right now, he says he's feeling good. And listen, the Warriors need any win they can get. Look for him to have a big game.
Tyler, what's the play here?
Guys, I think the play is to back Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and the Celtics. Now, they're a big double-digit home favorite, but this year they've been an extremely profitable bet when they've been matched up against the Western Conference and when they've been a double-digit favorite at home. Usually we don't like laying that much wood in an NBA game, but the Celtics are a team you can trust when they're expected to beat inferior competition by double-digit points. I'm going to lay it with Boston in this matchup.
All right, I cannot wait to talk about this nightcap here at 9:30 Eastern. That's Lakers-Rockets. They played just 2 days ago. Lakers came out on top. Perk, what point do you want to make about this Rockets team?
That they couldn't hit a bull in the ass with an ironing board offensively. Their offense grosses me out. Look, no IQ whatsoever, and when it comes to making shots on the perimeter, they're one of the worst in the league. And I understand Kevin Durant took a lot of heat, but Ime Udoka has to help him out. Put him in position to be successful. Take him off the ball and put him in the spots where he could catch and be the great scorer that he is.
I love that analysis. Wendy, what's your point on the game tonight?
Listen, this is a double game. The winner of this game not only gets a game in the standings, they're right next to each other, but they also get the tiebreaker. So it's almost like winning or losing two games. And all of the slander for the Rockets for the last few days has been earned, but they get to play the same team. They get to play them at home. They get to, have a scouting report ready, and they get Alperen Şengün back. If the Rockets have a good couple of hours tonight, they can flip everything around, and I'm sure Tyler knows that when he's about to make this pick.
Go ahead, Tyler.
I do know that, Wendy, and I kind of feel like an ass after what Kurt said, but I'm going to back the Rockets here. Now, the market's moving the Lakers' favor. They're a public team. They've been hot as of late, so I think people are starting to catch on that and want to jump on the bandwagon. But because Alperen Şengün is back, because they're at home again, and because the Lakers, despite this hot stretch, have struggled at times against good competition, I think this is a must-win spot for the Rockets where I'm going to back them laying the short 1.5 at home.
Yeah, the Lakers have won 6 straight. The Rockets have split their last 8. K-Perk, one more time. What's that analysis there with the bull? One more time?
Couldn't hit a bull in the ass with an ironing board.
It's hard to swing an ironing board.
Thank you, fellas. This from the WNBA. After months of contentious negotiations, the league and the Players Association have reached an agreement on a new CBA. The sides took it down to the wire before there would be a delay to the season. Now, Shams Charania reporting that the league agreed to a salary cap of $7 million, well up from $1.5 million from last season. The average revenue share would be about 20%, with the Supermax deal starting at $1.4 million. How about this? Average salaries would come in at around $600K, with the minimum salaries above $300,000. For much more, we're joined by women's basketball reporter Alexa Philippou, who's been all over this story. Alexa, how did both sides get the CBA over the finish line?
Yeah, Kevin, well, it took basically over 100 hours of bargaining this past week in Midtown Manhattan. Both sides up till all hours of the night, 3, 4, 5 a.m. trying to get this deal done. And the sense I was getting on the scene was that there was being progress made. It just was a little bit slower than maybe some people would have liked, but it was a matter of when, not if a deal would be done. And that when came this morning, right around 2:20 a.m. Everyone that you could see there in those photos, the players, the PA staff, the league staff gathered in that central meeting room. They were able to announce, I guess, officially that they had this deal signed, or they had this deal agreed upon in verbal terms. They were able to enjoy some champagne, and then they came down to the lobby of the hotel where they were meeting to tell us reporters that indeed there had been agreed to terms for verbal agreement as they hopefully try and get this thing across the finish line over the coming weeks.
Okay, so they reach an agreement. What's next in this process, Alexa?
Right, so right now there needs to be a term sheet actually formally made. That term sheet will be written by the lawyers. The lawyers will then have to actually draft the collective bargaining agreement, and that's when you would see also too, it then gets ratified eventually by the players. It has to be a simple majority of the player body, and then also ratified by the WNBA Board of Governors. That whole process is expected to take only a few weeks, but that also means that the rest of the offseason activity can't exactly happen until that's all done. And so the league had sent a proposed schedule of what that timeline could look like over to teams last month. So we don't know exactly what it will look like, but we have an idea of it. And under that proposed timeline, you could see the expansion draft happening around April 6th for the Toronto Tempo, the Portland Fire, and then free agency would come after that around April 7th to the 18th. The WNBA draft is already slated for April 13th. Training camp, though, will start on time. Kathy Engelbert told us yesterday on April 19th. And then the preseason games are also set to begin on time on April 25th. On time is the key, as this agreement comes just over 50 days before the league's 30th season is set to tip off. Excellent work, Alexa. Thank you. WNBA